And Olivia Atwood joins us now. It's lovely to see you.
Hi, guys.
There is nothing about this show that isn't gripping and compelling.
Thank
You're literally sitting there watching, firstly, the people willing to talk about what they're going through. Secondly, the processes and the treatments that they have. And thirdly, the fact that they're doing it on television.
Yeah.
I find it extraordinary, Olivia.
It's, and the casting team, that's down to them because the stories and the people that we have on the show are so incredible. And like you say, it's very exposing, to kind of share that story. And I always try to come with all my documentaries from a place of, not biased, not judgmental. I want to get the story out there, with journalistic rigour and, actually educate people, but I'm not also there to shame or condemn anyone and their choices because, at the end, it's your free will to do what you want.
One of the stories that we talk about weekly on This Morning is weight loss jabs.
Yes.
And it's one of the stories that you look at in your show as well. And it's absolutely fascinating hearing the really positive feedback we're getting, but also some of the negative side effects that come with it. And as you say, exploring it in a very non-judgmental way. But it's compelling when you're talking with your guests in your show about this because the fact that Lottie Moss is so open about her taking weight loss jabs and what happened to her. Can you just explain a little bit about why she wanted to do it?
So Lottie's story is really interesting and I was actually so grateful to her for telling a story so honestly that she knows it's going to face a lot of backlash. Her sister is Kate Moss, the supermodel. She talks about the pressure she felt growing up to be thin and the issues she's had around her weight. But she was a slim girl when she went on the jabs and it was very much a case of a lot of people she knew were doing it. She got it through... It was a prescriber, but it was a doctor who wasn't doing his due diligence. He hadn't weighed her, he didn't do, the health checks, and she became very ill and found herself, in the emergency room, fainting. It was a real horror story, a real shock to her, of how things can go wrong. With the weight loss jabs, my biggest takeaway is that in the right hands for the right people, they can be life-changing, and it literally can save someone's life. But it's all about who prescribes that jab to you. Are you a suitable candidate? Are there areas of your health able to support being on this medication? And they're not meant for, long-term use. They are meant to be a kickstarter to a lifestyle change and kind of to help you get the weight off and then you come off the jabs. But, yeah, it can go one of two ways.
I think you host the show so brilliantly because exactly like you said, you don't condemn anybody for doing anything, but you can really tell how much you care about people and the situation that they're about to put themselves in. We had a lady called Scarlett who came and sat here on the sofa. She was on her 4th BBL.
Yeah.
And on the show, you see her in Turkey, obviously. She sees the doctor 5 minutes before you go in. And then they won't let you in.
No.
All of a sudden.
Yes.
What did you feel like in that moment? Because how it comes across on the screen is you were really worried about her.
Already knowing Scarlett's medical history, we'd had a chat the day before and I knew she hadn't met her surgeon in real life. And this is just a representation of a very common case of, surgery tourism that you see in Turkey and other countries. And so there was a lot, there's a lot of play there. And really, I was about to be scrubbed up and they just came in and said, you're not allowed to go in at this point. So obviously, being sceptical, it just feels uneasy. It feels unsettling and you kind of... there was a concern for this young girl. I thought if that was my mum and my sister, I would be really worried.
She wouldn't have been able to have the treatment here in the UK, I don't think, would she?
She would have struggled probably to find anyone that would operate on her. And I think that's where Turkey, is successful in getting so many surgeries is because they have different regulations to us. So they will do surgeries to more extreme levels and they'll do surgeries on people that a doctor on Harley Street would just simply say no.
Yeah. What's the toughest thing you've seen? Because when I watched it, there's a lady called Amanda who has a facelift.
Yeah.
But she's awake. They are separating her skin from her muscle on her cheek.
Yeah, facelift and...
But she's chatting to you at the same time.
So Amanda, some people might recognise her from being on The Traitors, and she's an amazing woman. And we are seeing a rise in more procedures being done under local anaesthetic. This is, growing in popularity. There's pros and cons for each way. But, yeah, she was really unfazed. She couldn't feel anything. She could feel, obviously, tugging and she could hear things, but she wasn't in any pain. And for some people, it's a really good option, but she looked incredible.
When they cut to the amount of skin they're taking afterwards, it was literally like you could make a small clutch bag out of it.
It's crazy. There are some things, I think I've seen so much, and I've always had such a fascination with surgery and medical procedures that I knew going into this I was fine with blood. But there's some things that I saw a 360 tummy tuck in our Mummy Makeover episode, and I think we're just seeing. She was obviously, you know, under general anaesthetic, seeing the stomach fully exposed, all the muscles, the rib cage. It was, and I was so close to the bed. It's incredible. It's such a privilege to have that access.
Yes.
But does it put you off, though, Olivia? Because you're really honest in the documentary as well about the little bits of work that you've had done. Does watching them do these things, is it slowing down your desire to have bits and pieces done? Have you got your eye on something in the future?
I mean, it's always interesting to watch, and you can think, oh, yeah, maybe me. It's interesting as well, because things, you know, I look at and I think, I would never do that now that I've watched it. But I think what it does is it kind of sobers you up a little bit in the sense that you realise what you're putting your body through. Because if you think about something like a breast augmentation, which I've had, with surgery and anaesthetic being so sophisticated now, they kind of, the cosmetic industry can minimise these procedures. They go, oh, you'll be out in a few hours and it's no big deal. But when you actually see it happening, it is a huge strain to put your body through. And I think it gives you a bit more respect for your body and what it goes to in surgery when you see it the other side. Because when you go and have a general, you don't know.
No.
To you, it's just, you wake up, got new boobs, you know, off I go. But there's a lot that goes into it, and your body's going through a lot in that process. Even being on a general anaesthetic is a risk.
I think one of the things I really like about how you've approached the series and the casting is you've got some men being very, very open about the surgeries that they are having done on their private parts. Like, in a way that sort of, for them to be open to talking about this, because men tend not to talk about any of these things anyway, but for them to be filmed doing it and to be so open about it is extraordinary. How did you feel with that particular episode?
You know, it's always a big honour when someone is, like, going to let me into their story and speak to me on that level and then let me accompany them to surgery with my cameras. I feel that, you know, it's a huge responsibility that I don't take lightly. I think the man episode is really important because predominantly we know that women have felt the pressures of looking a certain way in society and have always been the primary customers for cosmetic procedures, but there is a massive incline in men coming forward for cosmetic procedures now. However, the stigma is really there and the prejudice, and I think there's a lot of embarrassment around it. So I think that by doing an episode where we look at men having treatments, it kind of helps men feel less ashamed. And also some of these issues, I mean, one of the guys we saw, you know, these are functional issues sometimes, and they're not just cosmetic. They have a cosmetic result, but also functionality can be an aspect.
So you've had treatments yourself. You've also now seen all these different operations that you can... What would be your advice to any of our viewers that are sat there at home thinking, you know what, this specific area of my body drives me crazy. I'm gonna do it. What would be your advice?
I think, so the show being aptly named The Price of Perfection, it's you have to weigh up what is your version of perfection, and that's what we see across this series. There is no such thing as perfect. Everyone has a different view of what that is. And what price are you willing to pay? That means financially, that means emotionally, physically. I think you have to weigh that up because most surgeries, it's not a one-time thing. So you need to think of the future of that. Can you financially afford to do a revision if something goes wrong? Have you got someone that can care for you if you get ill? I know it sounds really drastic, but almost think of the worst case scenarios, because hopefully everything goes routinely, you get what you want, but that's not always the way. And just do your research. Don't leave a stone unturned. And that means your surgeon, the hospital you're going to be in, people that have had the same surgery, what did they experience in post-care? Make plans, because more often than not, it will be fine. But make sure you're doing it for you and not because what you think you need to do.
Can't do enough research.
Yeah.
Talking of research, we're very excited. You've got some big news about this morning and you in the summer.
I have some news, yes. It's very exciting. I will be joining you guys on the hosting team on the other side of the couch.
Sitting at this side. Go on, come over and sit down, see what it's like.
Just come on.
This feels more surreal than anything.
There you go. So
How's that? We look amazing,
you look great from over
we
here.
do a show together now.
Yes, we should, for sure.
So you're going to be doing a couple of shows in the summer?
A couple of shows, so I'm very excited to be joining you guys. A huge honour. I know I've obviously grown up watching this show, and being part of the daytime team with Loose Women has been the best experience, and this just feels like a very natural progression of that.
Amazing. Can't wait
Well,
to
look,
see
you can do the throw to break with
Go
Kat
on then.
then.
where are we? Which camera?
There, 4.
Okay, Olivia Attwood, The Price of Perfection continues on Thursday at 10 p.m. on ITV2. All episodes are available now on ITVX.
Bravo! Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning. And Jamila joins us now. Good morning.
Hi.
I took James and Milo yesterday to go to the screening of this movie. They laughed. I cried.
Aww.
Like, you can do this. But it was such an amazing room to be in with a whole bunch of kids just being kids and loving every minute of it. You must be so excited to be in something like this.
I am, and it's so wholesome. But I think what I love about Pixar is the fact that it is for the kids.
Yeah.
But we've snuck in important messages for the adults. And so really it's for the whole world to be able to enjoy. And I love any show. I think, you know, The Good Place, which is the show that I did when I went over to America, with Ted Danson. But that show, again, had this ability to plant subliminal messages for everyone of every age. And I think Elio does such an important job of that. And the messages throughout this film are so important and so universal and so timely.
Tell us a little bit about it, because there'll be people who have seen that and gone, "Oh, it looks super cute." Who is Elio? What's gone on?
Elio is a little boy who doesn't feel very welcome on Earth. He hasn't found his people yet, and so he's desperate to get into space and one day gets abducted, which would be terrifying for most kids, but not for him, because all he wants is to get off the planet. And once he's there, he has to try and convince everyone he's the leader of Earth. And it's all his trials and tribulations to prove himself. And I think the film ultimately is about loneliness, which I think is something that, for all the things we could admit to, anxiety, depression, I still think there's a sort of contagion element to loneliness, where we're worried if we tell someone we're lonely, we might become even more lonely because people will think we're some sort of a pariah. And so it breaks the stigma of admitting to the fact that you're not always around the people that are right for you. And I really relate to that, because I didn't really have proper mates until I was 19. And then when I met those, and I spent my whole teenage years thinking, I'm never going to find any friends. And school and home just feels like your whole universe. And so it's such an important reminder to kids that, I mean, you don't have to be abducted by aliens, but that you need to maybe get away from where you are when you're older, and you will find your people.
Where did you find your people in the end then, Jamila?
On the Yellow Pages.
Was it?
No, I met them in... I was a MySpace photographer among my many jobs before I became...
A MySpace
I know, it really
photographer?
ages me, doesn't it?
Goodness me.
Yeah, and so they were a band and I was their photographer.
Brilliant.
And then we became best friends, and then they've been living with me in Los Angeles in a flat share.
I love
still
that.
with you.
A decade.
Straight.
Yeah, so I've never let them go. They're never getting rid of me.
Tell me a bit about Ambassador Cuesta, because she's kind of like... She's all knowledgeable. She's kind of a bit slinky. She's foxy, but she's clever and she's smart, and she develops this real relationship with the little boy, doesn't she?
I know, she does. She's sort of gently nudging and cheering him along, but she leads with such dignity and strength, and so I knew I couldn't pull that from myself. So I had to steal Julie Andrews' entire personality.
Is that what you did?
That's what I did. I channeled Julie Andrews, because she's got dignity, integrity, grace, leadership quality.
She's practically
Do you know what I mean?
perfect
Exactly.
in every way.
Not me. So I channeled her. I basically ripped off Julie Andrews and had such a fabulous time playing such a complex role. And I like the fact that she's a bit cheeky, and I love the fact that she's really nosy. And I would love to be able to touch your face and then read all of your
emotions.
thoughts. I think that's the thing that I would most like to be able to do. And so I just loved her, and I loved their relationship. And I think it definitely is something that I resonate with, which is wanting to boost others along, encourage other people to fulfil their potential.
What's so lovely is watching the film and sort of really enjoying it from a parent's perspective. I can see exactly why the kids are going to love it, because you can enjoy it as well. But then equally sitting there being very proud of how far you've come as well, and this journey that you're on, Jamila, which is just seemingly just flying, getting higher and higher. You know, from that moment you were spotted in the pub as an English teacher, obviously, a pub being the English teacher's happy place, most teachers' happy place. And I think you've been really sort of open about the fact that you've been very lucky along the way. You've got to have talent, but you've been given opportunities that you've been able to take advantage of.
Yeah, I didn't sleep with anyone. I would have slept my way down the industry.
Yeah.
I just got very lucky. I was in the right place at the right time, and I think I've also never been deterred by the fact that I am completely underqualified and underprepared for everything. I've always thought that makes it funnier. And I refer to myself sometimes as a failure pervert because I'm just obsessed with how wrong it could go because it makes for so much of a funnier story for your friends. No one likes a story of success. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Very, like a 60-second TikTok,
not
we
straight
can tolerate
away.
it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we
yeah.
like failure.
We like
so
it going wrong.
I run towards it because that's where the adventure, that's where the good juice is, you know, of life. And so everything I've done, I thought was going to be a colossal disaster. And really only 50% of it was.
That's not a bad success rate, then.
But you
or failure
also,
rate.
though,
How are you looking?
Yeah.
You also, though, have to be quite brave to do that. So, like, when you're doing A Good Place and Ted's there...
I know, and he's so handsome.
He's so... And 3 men and a little baby.
I know,
and, like,
such an icon.
Wait, was it not terrifying?
It was completely terrifying. It was completely terrifying because, you know, everyone talks about imposter syndrome. What do you do when you're actually an imposter, when you've actually never acted, and now you're on a TV show and you're thinking, what is everyone in England going to think of this? Like, this is the biggest... Every step of my career, I think, right, this is the biggest blag I've ever pulled off. Like, when I was made history on, like, Radio 1, I was like, this is it. And I'm like, what's happening next? Is it Prime Minister?
Why not?
Could it be?
Well, why not?
We'd wear the
Can't get
T-shirt.
much worse. Yeah, so I have no idea what's planned. But I don't know if it's bravery as much as it is madness, because I don't really take anything very seriously, least of all myself. And so I treat all of this like it's a wedding that I've crashed, and I should just snog who I can and steal some cake, and then
get out caught.
before I'm chucked out, which is inevitable.
I was talking about that the other day, the idea that not being scared to fail is such a powerful thing. Failure can scare all of us and can stop you doing things, but it seems like somehow you've tapped into the ability to say, whatever happens, I'm just going to go for it. And if it falls apart, that's not the end of the world. I'll pick myself up and I'll try something else.
I just don't think of life as a test, you know? And again, my favourite stories come from disaster. That's why I've started a whole podcast based on disaster. Because, again, I hate smug, perfect people. I hate them. I hate you. Wherever you are.
There is one person. He's not smug, but he's definitely perfect in my eyes, that you think the world of, which is our Will Best, our lovely Will.
Oh, my God, hi!
He happens to be coming in.
Surprise!
This is my son. I birthed him.
Yeah.
Explain
me.
My canal.
I mean, we know what's special about Will. Can you explain why you think Will's so special?
I know, exactly. Well, that's how I know it's you, the snorting. Were you asking Jamila to say what's so special about me?
Why does she? Because you've come out as that Will is like could be future Prime Minister, should be.
I've always loved Rick Edwards. I just think he's so great. I think Will is, in my opinion...
Great.
No. And I think everyone's the best, but I think you're the most talented broadcaster in the country. And that's a crazy thing to say.
And that's sitting on the same sofa as these two.
Take it.
Broadcasters, but maybe the next generation.
Wow.
Because you guys work together.
And I said that to you privately, and he's like tried to bat it off every time.
How old were you, Jamila, when you worked with Will? How long ago was this?
I was 23, 24.
Yeah.
How old are you?
42 back then.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now in his early 80s.
Yeah. Plugging away.
But the only person who's ever made me cry with laughter on telly, like, we had to be separated because we were a complete loose cannon on telly.
I was just listening to what you were saying there about kind of embracing the potential for chaos.
Yeah.
That can be a recipe for disaster, as we
That
proved
was
on many occasions back in the day.
I used to fall off the stool laughing because he was so inappropriate.
I can't remember anything that I said that was that. It's been downhill from there for me. But up, onwards and upwards for you. It's amazing.
You're doing fine. You're doing fine.
Yeah, just about.
Now, everyone's going to think we're sleeping together.
I know, we're sitting very close. That was me. I need to back away.
We're spooning.
On the sofa. This is the first time you've done this morning as well, Jamila, and you're already spooning with one of our hosts.
You're very comfortable.
I know.
That's
I had a
true.
little nap.
How do we look on here?
Didn't I?
Yeah.
Jet lagged.
Watch
How
out,
are
you two. Yeah, good. I'm good, mate. We should probably have that kind of catch-up chat
Yeah. Sorry. Back to the show. Back to the show.
Yeah.
But I love you.
Oh, mate, well,
and
it's
I'm so
great to
proud
see
of
you.
I'm happy that everything's
They
going
said I was
really
going to come and surprise you, and I thought this is going to be the most underwhelming surprise anyone has ever had.
No, it's really made me happy. It's like really
Oh, it's
calmed
great to
me
see you,
down.
mate. And congrats on the film.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
thanks.
film makes us happy, Jamila.
Yeah,
Thank you for
it did.
coming in
Thank
and
you.
talking a little bit about it.
Brilliant.
It's fabulous.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
And you can catch Elio in cinemas.
Oh, hello.
on Friday.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
It was an extraordinary few days for Sam Thompson last week, wasn't it?
Sorry, it was. He raised an incredible £1.6 million for UNICEF after running and cycling 260 miles through rain and injury from Chelsea Football Club's Stamford Bridge Stadium in London to Old Trafford in Greater Manchester.
Yeah, this was all to deliver the match ball at a soccer aid on Sunday, but he is kicking about another football today. He is at Soccer Aid training ground to meet star players Paddy McGuinness, Bella Ramsey and Strictly Skorka. Hello, buddy.
Yeah, I'm here at Soccer Aid HQ with three absolute wonders, I've got to say. Bella, this is your first time at Soccer Aid.
Yeah.
What are your initial thoughts?
I'm loving it. It's chaos, but like brilliant chaos. It's so fun. Like, what a cool opportunity.
And 72,000 screaming fans. What's that going to feel like walking out in front of them?
It's going to be mad. I'm like ready for the thrill of it. I don't think it might actually be one of the best moments of my entire life. Like, I'm ready for that. And for like the best cause ever, UNICEF. Like, that's why we're all here, so.
It absolutely is. And do you know what? That's exactly what I was like on the first time that I walked out, which was only last year. It was like a dream come true.
Yeah.
It's not Paddy's first year or second year or third year, in fact. Paddy, what year is this for you?
Oh, God, I think I've been doing it about 15 years. Yeah, I'd like to say before you two were even born. not so much you. No, I won't.
Chancy taking it.
It is, but it's nice, you know, seeing Bella today having a chat, and you know, even though someone like Bella who's a real big star, but still gets the nerves coming to soccer. But once you're here and you find that everyone's just so lovely. It's a really nice vibe, and it's just a magic to be a part of, and like you were touched upon earlier, you know, it's a win-win because you're having fun and you're raising money for UNICEF as well at the same time. So long may it continue.
Well, mate, you know, Paddy being goalkeeper, I don't know if anyone's going to put anything past him. To be fair, what's going on, mate? How are the hand skills at the moment?
I've just got it. Literally, is that what?
Here we go. He's already in.
I would take my shirt off, but you don't want to see that on morning TV.
I remember. So my first year was last year, and I put one past Paddy in training. You won't remember this, but I definitely do. And I put one past him, and I turned round to him and I went like this. I went like that, and I was through on goal on the second one. What didn't look up, and Paddy went through me.
Yes.
Through me. He went, "Welcome, Soccer Aid, son." I went, "Oh my God!" One of the best moments of my life.
Do you know? I think just like being on the pitch with so many different people from sort of so many different backgrounds, but once the ball goes on there, you're all in the same zone then. Even though we all do different things in work life, everyone's all pulling in the same direction. But they told me there's a penalty shootout today, and I've literally just got it. I'm not feeling that confident, but you know, it'll be all right.
It's good. I believe in it as well.
For my team.
Well, Gorka, mate, this is the first year for you as well. You're swapping the dance floor for the football pitch. I've seen you're actually quite nifty with your feet, obviously, because you're a dancer. But are you feeling confident?
Well, I haven't played football in years. You know, I have the twinkly feet, so I think if I cannot play, I will be on the sideline being the cheerleader for everybody. I will be throwing them dance moves for everybody. So yeah.
Well, I actually will be on the sidelines. Bella, I don't know if you're aware of this, but I am an England coach now.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have. So Gary's told me that I can't play.
That's outrageous.
Which I found quite outrageous. I think we should start a petition.
He's a very cruel mistress, his gal.
It's a very cruel mistress, I've got to say. But I will be on the sideline with Tyson Fury.
That's cool, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm also tiny, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get into his ear. But look, if you need any tactics or any help like that, you know, I'm your guy.
Thank you.
I'm going to be honest with you. What position do you want to play?
Well, I think in the middle somewhere, because I want the freedom of being able to just like run about. At the back, it's a bit scary. I was like thinking I'd be at the back, but it's a bit scary. I feel like there's a lot of pressure. In the middle, I feel like you can get away with more.
I used to play at the back. It's actually all right, you know.
Is it?
Yeah, because you see all the game unfold in front of you.
It's true.
Put a few challenges in. You don't have to do anything too crazy at the top. So at the back's kind of all right, you know.
Like the chase of when there's an attack coming down and you have to like chase them down and get the ball.
Belly, you are going to do so well. I can feel it already. Do you know what? Just to echo what Paddy said, like it is beautiful. It's magical here. It's no matter where you're from, no matter what walk of life, what industry you're in, everybody wants to be here. It is such a family unit. The moment you get here, it's a little bubble. Obviously, we all know why we are still here. I mean, Paddy, you've seen many of these films over the years, but we managed to watch a few films last night.
Yeah.
And what does it mean on that front for you guys to be here, Walker?
It's incredible, you know, and now I'm a dad, so I have 2 children, and just to have the thought of like my children don't have anything of the basic things like health, food, nutrition, learn and go to school. It's just, it blows my mind that still at this time that we are now, in these modern worlds, we are just like focusing so much on ourselves and forget about the children and how vulnerable they are. And this is just a great cause. And as little as what we are doing, it's big for them. Like you said yesterday, just a £40 donation can provide them for food for a full month. It just blows my mind, like we are not conscious of it.
Yeah. Bella, would you echo that sentiment?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like watching those films yesterday really brought it home, and like it felt that I think everyone sort of felt the weight of why we're all here, and we're having a really fun time playing football at Old Trafford and living the dream. But also, for the reality is that for kids around the world, like they don't have access to like basic human rights and needs. So for us to like be able to be here and be a platform to support them and the work that UNICEF does is like just so brilliant.
Yeah, and Paddy, obviously you've done this so many times. I mean, is this what keeps you coming back?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, that's the power of football as well. It kind of brings everyone together, and it's a bonus that you're having fun at the same time. But when you play at somewhere like Old Trafford in Soccer Aid, it's so loud. And I've talked to pros who've played, in World Cups and everything, and said they never played in an atmosphere so loud. That's because all their friends and families are coming out to get behind the team and UNICEF, and it's just wonderful to be a part of.
Mate, we're going to do it all again in just a few days' time.
Can I just say, seeing you next to Tyson Fury is going to be like the best fever dream I've ever had.
Same for me as well.
It's going to be amazing.
I just hope I don't get knocked out. Anyway, we better get back to training, because I'm a coach now. Back to everybody in the studio. We love you so much. Let's go.
He's a coach now. He's a coach now.
That is going to be carnage.
He's literally going to be talking about that for the rest of the year.
Carnage.
I can't wait. Thank you, Sam, and thank you to all our players. We're very looking forward to it, aren't we? Now, this year's Soccer Aid for UNICEF kicks off on Sunday from 6 p.m. right here on ITV1 and ITVX.
Yeah, I'm heading down there after this.
Are you?
Yeah, to the training ground, absolutely. And remember, donating to Soccer Aid is very simple to give. 30, 20 or £10. Text 30, 20 or 10 to 70818. Text cost your donation plus one standard rate message.
Now, you must be 16 or over, and please ask the bill payer's permission. You can also donate online at the website shown on the screen.
100% of that donation will go to UNICEF, and every donation is going to be doubled up to £5 million thanks to the Children's Investment Fund Foundation.
I'm going to be watching.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning. How excited are we?
Just a little bit. I'm going to just try and style it out, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, try.
It's only Josh,
yeah,
do you know what I mean?
It's fine. Now, from Celine Dion, Baby Think Twice, for the sake of our love, for the memories. To Barbara Streisand.
Oh, you... Voice of an angel. Wow.
It's quite extra, isn't it? From Andrea Bocelli to Kermit the Frog, our next guest is performing some of the biggest superstars of all time.
And after selling an incredible 35 million albums, Josh Groban is back. And he's here today to tell us all about his brand new album, which is this.
Yes.
It's called Gems. Every single one is a gem.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
It's absolutely beautiful. Oh, can you let's get that?
Come on,
there we go.
touch
Look
it
at that. Oh, yeah, let's all touch it.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yes.
Josh, welcome. This is his first album in quite a while, isn't it?
It is in quite a while. This is COVID. I mean, I haven't been here with a project in a little bit. I promoted an album, from my bedroom when we were all just doing that.
Yeah.
And then I went to Broadway for a year. And so It felt like a great time to kind of look back on. I can't believe I've been doing this 25 years. I started very young.
Oh, nice.
And so to have a compilation of songs that have been such an important part of my life and my listeners' lives, it felt like the right time.
What can the fans look forward to with this? Because I know you listen to the fans. That's what I love about you.
No music. It's just lots of pictures in there. There's actually a centerfold that comes out in the middle.
Like this.
Yeah.
I don't hear anything at all.
I'm just going to put it on my wall.
Is that just heavy breathing? What's going on? No, it's we put out obviously there are the songs that have been kind of like whatever hits are for me, but then also just a lot of songs that have been stories that I've been told by a lot of amazing fans that I've heard backstage of just songs that have been the soundtracks to people's lives. It's really, really awesome. I'm not great at taking a time out and looking back. And so to be able to kind of take a minute to celebrate this incredible journey we've all been on for 25 years has been great to compile them.
When you do your version of a song or you release an original song and it becomes part of a fan's life. And it's almost like, I've spoken to mates of mine that sing a songwriter. You always have to give the song away. It's not your song anymore. People come up to you and go, this meant the world to me when I buried a relative or a wedding or a birth.
And it's an isolating experience when you're writing and you're singing. You're really in your own little bubble and you slide it into the door of the world and you have kind of no idea, and you shouldn't, what it's going to do, how it's going to affect other people's lives. And so now, of course, with social media, you hear all of the stories, but when I first started, I had no idea. So, now it's really fun to revisit them because you can get all those stories in real time.
Let's talk about how you first started. But before we talk about how you first got into the showbiz, let's have a look at a little hidden gem.
Oh, okay.
It's so lovely. I mean, this is all like an accident. Everything. You've been on this sofa.
Oh, yes.
The whole thing's an accident.
The car just dropped me off and said, I think this is the spot.
Where am I?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
17. Take us back to when you were 17 years old.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
what happened?
I always, one of the reasons why I love talking to young singers and students who are interested in maybe doing theater or music is because, you never stop learning. And you have this idea that at some point you're going to figure it all out.
And you never do.
You never do. And the greats that I've been able to meet, they've always stayed students. When I was that age, when I was 15, I was just getting my first lead role, in a musical. And then 2 years later, I'm getting called to go to a rehearsal with Celine Dion. And you have to fake a confidence until you make it. I was absolutely terrified.
Oh my God, what was that day? Do you have memories of that day?
I do. I mean, it was kind of a blur because it was such a crazy day. But the thing I remember the most is how giving Celine was of her energy that day, because that was her actual rehearsal. She had to be on the Grammys the next night, and I was just a fill-in kid. And for her to have kind of had the wherewithal to say, oh, something big is maybe happening for this kid, and I'm going to make this, he's obviously very nervous, I'm going to make this easier for him. And she took my hand and she gave me that support. And, all these years later, right before the lockdown, I got to sing for her at Hyde Park, which when she did her concert there, about 5 years ago now. So, it's been very full circle.
Can we talk Streisand? Because
my
mum literally brought me up listening to
her.
Barbra Streisand.
Yeah, amazing.
I mean, she's sensational.
Talk about, learning from somebody that you're singing with. I've sung 3 duets now with Barbra, and my first duet was early on, and I was on one of her duets albums. And to watch how she turns a phrase, how she interprets and approaches a lyric. When you're singing and you're young, you just kind of you get a song thrown at you and you go, right, yeah, let's give it a go. And to watch how meticulous she is about every word, every syllable, the meaning behind it. I would watch her stop and rethink about what that line could possibly mean. It was inspiring, and it's always inspiring to just be in her presence, but to sing with her is a lesson and a gift for sure.
But you remember when we were kids, you just used to, she's a great actress as well, so she'd suddenly, she'd do like Funny Girl and Yentl and just
that's the thing too, is that when I love the old school approach, because back then you could be all the things.
Yeah.
Because with emotion, it is all the things. If you sing songs, you should be able to tell those stories on stage or on screen. You're tapping into the same place. And so I love that, she represents for a whole new generation of artists the fact that you can do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the biggest diva, apparently, was Miss Piggy. Is that true?
By a long
What was so diva-ish about her?
Yeah, she was, Miss Piggy and I know there can be some gossip on this show. We had a thing for like a very small amount of time. It was we're cool now, but
It's going to be in the Daily Mail.
At the time, I didn't realize, though,
it.
ABC had a season of a really cool Muppet show, and they're like, we want you to play Miss Piggy's boyfriend. We're going to write it in so that Miss Piggy's going to make Kermit jealous by dating you. And I'm just like, this is going to be the greatest experience in entertainment of my life. So, yeah, I got to sing for Miss Piggy. I had a kiss scene with Miss Piggy.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, it was really... I can still feel the felt.
And does she still talk to you now? Does she write letters?
She ghosts me now.
She ghosted you?
I think she might have changed her number because it shows up green now when it used to show up blue. So, yeah, if you're watching, listen, we had a good time, but, I'm happy for Kermie. He deserves it.
Love it.
You sing in several languages as well.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your favourite language to sing in other than English?
It's interesting because as a singing student, I would sing in all of the Romance languages, Spanish, Italian, French. That's kind of how including those on my albums came about because I loved singing in them. I don't speak the languages fluently, but I sing the songs fluently.
Yeah.
I know exactly what I'm singing when I sing it. It does something to the voice, and those open vowels. I think for me, singing in Italian is my second favorite.
Sing for me in Italian right now. What can you give me? Go on, serenade me now, Josh.
Per te vivrò, l'amore vincerà.
Yeah, I can see what you mean, though. It does change things, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Gosh. Are you learning to sing in Japanese as well? Have you sung in Japanese?
I did sing one song in Japanese a long time ago, but Japanese is a language I'd love to sing more in. I love Japan. It's hard, but I love the culture. I love going over there. So yeah, maybe one day.
Josh, when you're singing, obviously you've done all the stages. You've gone from Broadway to the Vatican. When you're actually singing, who are you thinking about in your mind? Are you thinking about the love of your life? Or are you just thinking about the fact that your dog could start barking backstage?
Sometimes, if I'm ever thinking about either what my dog's doing backstage or what's for dinner, I need to pull myself back in.
Really?
Oh yeah. Well, you do
Does it happen sometimes?
Every so often, if you're doing 20 songs a night and you're doing 200 shows or whatever, there are moments where you're just kind of you leave your body a little bit and you start to think about I'm going to play Call of Duty later. No, this is supposed to be a romantic song. But it's always awesome when you have songs that can mean a lot of different things at different times. A song like You Raise Me Up, for instance, has different meanings for me every time I sing it. I have a song called To Where You Are that's about losing somebody. And when I first recorded it, I was 18 years old and I'd lost really nobody. I was singing it kind of trying to imagine what it must be like. And at 44, you go back and you revisit those old songs and you've lived. You've experienced love and loss and all those things. And so I'm always tapping into stories that are from my past and people and stories that are in my present.
Josh, what a pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure has been mine. Thank you.
Really lovely having you on.
Yeah, same here. Thank you for having me.
Go on out.
Take it home.
No, let's all have a touch. Come on now.
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
I'm getting the strides. Oh, no, my hands are...
Josh's new album, Gems, is out now.
Good.
His Hidden Treasures. It's beautiful. Hi, everyone. Just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
#1 classical albums, a regular radio slot. Wyn Evans' spot on Strictly was set to top his year.
But not long after hitting the Strictly ballroom, Wyn found himself at the centre of a media storm after his professional dance partner, Katia Jones, appeared to move his hand from her waist during a live show.
A controversy didn't stop there. Ahead of the Strictly Live tour launch, Wyn gave a fellow contestant what he now describes as an inappropriate and unacceptable sexual gift.
His actions led to his exit from the Strictly tour and his BBC radio contract not being renewed.
This morning, in his first TV interview since those events, Wyn is here to tell his side of the story. Wyn, good to see you this morning. Thank you for coming in.
Morning. What a catch, eh?
It's been quite a year.
Yeah.
It has.
Kat and I were only sort of talking about this yesterday, because you came in and you announced being on Strictly.
Yeah.
You were so excited too. You did the worm.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was so much high excitement and optimism and expectation. It's not been quite like that, has it?
No, it's not been like that for me. Loads of people do Strictly and, it's a fabulous event and they get on really well with it. For me, it wasn't that kind of experience. I hadn't expected the press the intensity and the focus to be like it was. I mean, I'm sure you guys are used to it now, being, you know, daytime hosts, but for me, to have paps outside the house, to have people following you, to have people hanging on your every word, private conversations, public conversations, all fair game for the newspapers, to put their own narrative on it was extraordinary.
So let's start off by talking about the photo call, because that is a situation, actually, where you know that there are people out there to take your pictures.
There's lots of press.
There's lots of press. There was an alleged remark. What happened there?
OK, so we were just there with the photographers. The reporters had left.
OK.
But we were there having some stills taken. I was there. I was talking to Jamie Borthwick. I had this nickname for him, which was old, and then the word in question, and boy. So I used to call him this because he could contort his legs over his head. I didn't know there was a reporter still there recording, apparently, on their phone from quite a distance away, and then put their own spin on it, their own narrative on it, taking out the words old and boy, which you can absolutely see on the video. It's absolutely crystal clear. And when we've had the volume looked at, you know, the words are there. They're there for everybody to see. She's just said that even though I'm looking at Jamie, they claim that I'm directing this word at Jeanette. And it's totally been taken out of context. Absolutely. The narrative is so wrong on it. In fact, when I saw the narrative in the newspaper, I was just shocked and horrified, because instead of a nickname with another word for rotisserie in it, you know, because this guy could get his legs behind his head like a chicken, it's turned into this sexual innuendo. And I was mortified, absolutely mortified by it. And, you know, I've spoken with Jeanette, as you know, afterwards, and, you know, A, she didn't hear it, B, there was never been any complaints about me, ever, and I was just like, how can somebody take a narrative and change it? And, you know, everybody just believe it. Of course, at the time, I'd just lost my brother, I'd broken my foot, I was lying in a hotel room in Glasgow with all these newspapers kind of getting in touch with you. You know what it's like. They ring you the day before, as late as possible, to try and get you to make a comment. The Strictly Press Tour people rang me and they said, look, you meant to have said this word. Now, if I said to you, Kat, you've said something that's really offended me, you'd go, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, God, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They took that as an apology. They didn't run it by me. They sent it off to the newspaper. They printed that as my apology.
Yeah.
And that's the situation I was in. And, of course, then it looks like I validated the story.
Yes. In reply to that, they came back and said the apology issued on Wynn's behalf by the Strictly Come Dancing tour PR representative on Saturday, 25th of January, was fully approved by Wynn.
No, it's not true.
You don't believe that?
No, that's not true. I got no email. It was not fully approved by me at all.
They have an understanding that that's how they saw it.
Sure.
That was one of those situations. There were a couple of other incidents as well, as Kat mentioned on the way in. The moment on the show where you were in the back of shots with Katya and you go to put your hand around her waist and she moved your hand away. It's a bizarre little moment. It's a little vignette of the relationship between you and Katya, but didn't look great when you're sitting at home watching, going, oh, that's a bit strange. Can you understand why people sort of got confused by that?
I totally understand that, and I apologise. I don't want to sit here today coming across as a victim, because I'm not. I totally understand why people were upset by that, and I get it. But, again, it was... Look, I'm naive then, if I'm anything, right? Because Katya says to me, look, have you seen people are just saying on Twitter and...
Instagram or TikTok
and Instagram, all of this, that... You know, every touch, every nuance. I'm sure they do it to you, right? Oh, Ben put his hand on your shoulder. Oh, they're not getting on today. She's turned her back on him, all of that, right? These amateur body language experts. So Katya said to me, right, you put your hand on my waist, I'll move it back, we'll see if anybody picks it up. And boy, did they pick it. In fact, she drags me. You say we're in the background. She drags me. She said to me, let's get down the front to make sure everybody sees it. So we're down the front. I put my hand in her waist, she pulls it back, right? And then I'm sat in makeup afterwards, and I go, oh, my word, this is terrible.
It's exploded.
Right? So I showed it to her, and I said, we need to make an apology video. So we did this apology video, and it was 50 seconds long. And I remember saying to the people at Strictly, oh, look, we've done this video because, you know... And they said, oh, no, you can't put that, that's too long, right? So they go, just make it 10 seconds. Of course, it turns into, like, some kind of hostage-style video where I'm in the background going, sorry, and then we turn into a private joke that everybody wants to know what the joke was. It was just a body language experiment that was picked up on.
And so you're frustrated about that because you feel like the longer version of the video might have seemed more sincere and authentic.
Yeah.
So what the BBC said about that, for the avoidance of doubt, the video in question was filmed twice. All parties agreed at the time that the second, more concise version would be better suited for social media. We know that people on social media have a very short attention span.
Absolutely.
So you can understand why getting it in short 20-second bursts might have been more impactful.
I understand that, but I still think it's the wrong decision. And, of course, I think the thing about Strictly, what I love about Strictly, if I can just say this, what I absolutely adore is the thought of a little girl or a little boy with their sparkles on a Saturday night with their little paddles going, oh, yeah, give him a 10. And I love all of that, right? But the press interest in it, it's a juggernaut. It's extraordinary. And I just don't think that the BBC are quite in control of that press element to it.
Do you feel like you were, and the other contestants were helped to understand the focus that you were going to get? So little things like Katya saying, oh, this will be funny to do, they might be able to say, don't think you can play a game like that because it will get picked up and it will run as a story. The comment that you can make, the nickname you might have for Jamie, as inoffensive as it is to him, out of context could feel very offensive, and seem very offensive.
100%, and I totally get that. You know, it's just those little things that you do on the spur of the moment, you know, that you think, oh, this is funny, and it's not funny. You don't think it through because your mind doesn't work in that way.
Yeah. Well, one thing that was premeditated and not spur of the moment was the gift that you sent to Jamie. Yeah. Explain that to us.
OK, 100%. I'm so glad you're asking me because I want to talk about it, right? So we're on tour. We're spending 24 hours a day with people. You get to know people really well, OK? And it was just a joke that went too far. He'd been talking about this thing backstage. Everybody in the dressing room was, oh, let's get him one. Let's get him one.
Talking about a sex toy?
Yeah, sex toy. I ordered him one off of Amazon. It arrived. As soon as he opened it, the kind of joke was over. It never left the dressing room. It went straight in the bin. I didn't know he'd made a video to send to a friend.
Right.
Saying that this, you know, had been given to him. So that was a joke that went too far, and I apologise for that.
The whole thing also, I think, has been relentless. It feels as though it's, you know, a comment after comment and article after article. This can't have been good for you mentally.
I've had clinical depression since 2016, diagnosed. And it took me in... And I want to talk about it today because I want other people to find strength from that.
Yeah.
It took me into the darkest spot of my life.
I'm sure it
When
would.
the headlines keep coming and coming and coming, and you must have been there yourself when something gets picked up and it just doesn't stop. And I was at my lowest ebb. I wanted to end my life. I would have if I hadn't been surrounded by people. At one point, one of the newspapers was so relentless. I remember saying to my girlfriend, I have to kill myself. I have to, because this is what they want now. They just want me to kill. The same people that were writing Be Kind a few years ago are still relentlessly going after you day after day after day. And that is exhausting. You can't sleep, you can't do anything. You're just full of these thoughts the entire time, and it just takes over your life.
And how has your family and friends been able to turn that around for you, and how have you turned that around?
So I was under the crisis team for a month, where they just look after you the whole time. And my friends and my family and my girlfriend did a rota that they could be with me 24 hours a day, sitting up with me, because it was just so relentless. But I said to my daughter, you know, I said, I'm sorry I brought shame on the family, because even though I didn't do what they said I did, I'd still brought all these headlines.
Sure, I understand.
And she just said, look, Dad, I know you. You're just a kind person, and I just want you to know that I can see the video. I've seen it for myself. I know exactly what you said. And so they've been utterly brilliant, and my girlfriend has been fantastic as well.
How have the BBC been?
I haven't heard from them since I got suspended. To me, I haven't heard from them, so I don't know. They've only spoken to my lawyers.
Right.
Their right of reply to what
absolutely.
you've said is we provided comprehensive duty of care for Wynne that included support by wellbeing professionals. He was also provided with direct access to designated contact at the BBC, who was available to assist him at any time. Plus, he has been offered continued support since his contract with the BBC concluded.
Right.
Were you aware that you had that option?
No, I wasn't aware.
You
of
were,
that.
okay.
No.
But they would maintain that it is there for you should you wish to talk to somebody.
Sure. I just think that sometimes mental health is talked about. You know, we have World Mental Health Week, we have, you know, Mental Health Day, we have all these initiatives, and sometimes I just fear that it's lip service that they're given, and they're not actual. You know, I think we've become brilliant with equality and open access for people with abilities and disabilities, but mental health is still a really dark, a really grey area where we can say, oh yeah, we've got this policy in place, we've got that policy in place, but actually you need to look after these people with mental health issues because, you know, in the flip of a light switch, the lights can go out.
Yeah. Well, one person who does look after you is Liz. You just mentioned before that she'd sit with you, and you had a very exciting couple of days, didn't you?
Yeah, we went to Marrakesh on the weekend, and you know, the roads are really uneven in Marrakesh.
Yeah.
I stumbled and found myself on one knee.
It was definitely that.
And then you happened to have a diamond in your pocket.
Yeah.
Ah.
So, yeah, we're engaged.
That's really amazing.
Congratulations.
To
Thank you so much.
It's that, look, it's the expectation, the excitement for lots of people who will be thinking about the new series of Strictly coming up, Wynne. What would your advice be to them?
I'd say, not to the contestants, to the people watching it, keep watching it. Keep watching Strictly, it's beautiful, right? The dancing is beautiful. I'd say, please don't believe everything you read in the press, and sometimes don't believe anything you read in the press, you know, because a lot of it is just clickbait.
Yes.
And sadly, as social media's got bigger, the clickbait articles have become bigger as well, haven't they?
And if you could go back and do anything differently, what would you do?
For me, I wouldn't do it. I didn't think it was a safe environment for me to do Strictly.
Right.
I wouldn't do it. But I loved the dancing. I loved Katya. I loved Jeanette. I loved all the guys, you know, that were there. It was just literally the attention that
Pressure
I got.
cooker.
Yeah, it was a pressure cooker. And anyway, so look, I'm happy now to be back in Wales. Got my new. I've taken a bit of a Chris Evans move.
Yeah.
I'm going to start my own show on my own on Monday.
Congratulations.
WynneEvansShow.com.
Yeah.
So yeah, 9 till 12. So I'm really looking forward to that.
And you're singing?
Singing, yeah. I've got a tour coming up in early 2026. I put a show on sale thinking, oh, does anybody actually want to see me anymore? So I just put one on sale. It sold out in like 20 minutes. So I thought, oh, yeah, the support from the winners, as we call them, the people that listen to my show, has been incredible. It's been amazing. Public support has just been absolutely off the scale. And that has warmed my heart and really kept me going.
I'm sure it did. Thank you for joining us today.
No, thank you for giving me the time.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
And congratulations to Liz as well.
Thank you.
Send her our love. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being so honest as well.
Cheers,
It will make a difference. If you have any need of any help or support with your own mental health, you just heard Wynne talking about, it's so important that you get some help. Get to the website, itv.com. Oh, hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
Culture Club hit the road this summer for festival season. Boy George has popped in to say good morning. Good morning to you.
Morning.
Lovely to see you.
It's lovely to see it. So you're off. You're off out and about. You're meeting the fans. You're going to be at Uptown. What are you doing?
Uptown, which is in Blackheath, which is kind of near where I grew up.
Oh, so it's like a homecoming.
It is a bit. I mean, Blackheath is posh. I'm actually from SC9 originally.
Right.
And then moved to SC18. And Blackheath was always like a place I wanted to live when I was a kid. I was like, you know, I'd love to live in Blackheath. But...
So how does it feel when you're doing a festival there? Is there sort of a lot of memories of sort of...
I feel like, you know, it's funny because, like, South East London, I ran screaming from South East London when I was, like, 17 and vowed never to go back. But over the years, you know, obviously through the DJing, I used to do a lot of clubs down there. And eventually people kind of reclaimed me as part of the sort of South East London massive. Yeah, eventually it was like,
one of us,
you know.
Of course they do.
So, yeah, no, I love it down there now, you know. But when I was, like, 17, you know, we used to get chased by casuals.
That was the look, they all, with the way they were dressed, so they looked...
Yeah, it was like, walking around South East London dressed as a nun wasn't exactly, it didn't go down too well.
How was it growing up back in the day there and with your family? I've heard you describe it as you were the pink sheep.
Definitely. I mean, I used to sometimes see my brothers and their mates, like, as I was walking down the hill to get the bus, and they'd, like, cross the road.
Would they really? Would you then embarrass them more?
Oh, always. Always, yeah, absolutely, yeah, totally. Ask them for money.
And where did the look come from, George?
I think for me, it was obviously Bowie, Mark Bolan, the whole glam rock thing. I've always just loved music, even like things like 50s music, Elvis Presley, Eddie Cochran. I just loved show business.
Yeah.
I just was drawn.
But you come from a pretty straight family background. How did your mum and dad react when all of a sudden you're dressing like that and going out and being who you are?
My dad always used to try and get me to go to the boxing club. My dad used to say, you need to toughen yourself up. If you're going to walk around looking like that, you need to be able to handle yourself. And of course, I wasn't really interested in fighting people. But my dad's advice was learn to punch. And then if someone hits you, you can hit them back. But no, that wasn't for me.
That wasn't for me. So, did they, obviously they knew it was you and you were happy doing that. Did they embrace it or did they sort of...
To start with, it was, frowned upon. But then eventually when they realised it wasn't going to stop, it was only going to get worse, I think they just gave up,
Did your mum ever help you with your outfits? Or
my mum started off as a kind of, standing in front of the front door to stop me going out, to making things for me and allowing me to, say, well, make this for me,
What a brilliant mum.
Yeah, it was
How
great.
did you turn her around? Was it just where
Defiance. It was literally just,
You wore them down?
Yeah, I just kept doing it. And
But I think lots of people were the same in that era. I remember actually Martin Kemp coming on and talking about the Blitz. And he said the closest thing to it was you went in there and you felt like everything was Technicolor. Like your senses were heightened. Everybody was dressed differently.
Also, when you're like 17, you don't really care what other people think. Do you know what I mean? I always used to think, why do you care?
Yeah.
But sort of loving the attention. It's a weird one. When you dress up and you're a show-off, part of you wants the animosity and part of you doesn't want it. It's a real double-edged sword because why do people have to make comments?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think he also got his mum to make his outfits as well.
Did.
And she said she made some leather trousers for him, but didn't ever put anything to undo them. So he was desperate to go to the loo, and they hadn't put a zip and a button in. So he was just...
My mum was an excellent seamstress. It was like she would copy Vivienne Westwood clothing. And in fact, one time I was in Paris wearing a pair of trousers my mum had made, and Vivienne came up and inspected them, and she goes, they're not mine. I said, no, my mum made them. And she looked at me, she said, tell her she did a fantastic job.
Wow, praise from Vivienne Westwood.
It must have been your mum's proudest moment, like printed up the T-shirts with that on.
One of the lovely things when Culture Club and you'd really hit the scene, of course, there was plenty of interviews that you've done over the years, George, where you talk about the future, you talk about who you are. And we found a clip of nearly 40 years ago of an interview where someone asks you what you would like to be remembered for in 40 years. And here we go. This is what you said.
You would like, what you think you might be doing in 40 years' time?
I hope I don't know what I'd like to be remembered for. Songs, mainly, I mean, because I actually read something in the newspaper the other week which said, Boy George was nothing to the discovered mascara, which I felt very insulted because, I write songs.
Can I imagine what you would look like in 40 years' time? Are you going to be like that?
Hideous, probably. Well, I mean, everyone wants to grow up gracefully, but sometimes you just can't help it,
Oh.
Aren't you gorgeous?
I look better.
You look fabulous.
But aren't you gorgeous, though? Your raspy voice, you're so gorgeous. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do remember it, yeah. And it's a funny one, isn't it? Because, like, when you first start, when we first started the band, nobody was thinking about the future. Nobody thought we were sitting there 40 years later talking about our careers, It just wasn't, we thought we'd make a record, maybe do one tour, it's... you just never know what's coming,
Well, you're definitely remembered for the music, and you've got this new album,
for sure.
SE18. So you're still writing the music, you're still doing a business now.
Absolutely, and I have a bunch of stuff coming out. Now I've found a way to release vinyl, so this is not going to be streamed. It's only vinyl and CD. I'm taking it right back.
How are you doing that? How are you...
You can go online and order it.
Yeah. So you have to get a physical copy. We really miss that, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like my audience doesn't seem to care about streaming.
They want to have it. They want to have the copy in their hand.
They like the lyrics.
And there's a real reggae influence there.
Yeah, and also I just love records. I actually, doing this final has really reminded me of how much I just get excited when Bowie put out a record or T-Rex, you know, and you go and buy it and look
Going to the record shop and flipping
looking
through.
at who played on it, you know, who did the costumes, who did the makeup. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Well, look, it's lovely to see you. Thank you for dropping by. It's always great to catch up and have a chat. And that is such a wonderful clip.
Yeah,
it's such
it
a
is.
wonderful clip.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Boy George and Culture Club are headlining Uptown Festival at Blackheath, London on Sunday, the 27th of July.
And George's new album, SE18, is out on the 21st of June. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
From her acclaimed portrayal as Queen Elizabeth II in The Crown to her unforgettable role as Dolores Umbridge in the Harry Potter films, there's not much that Dame Imelda Staunton hasn't achieved in her remarkable career.
No, and now she's added a rather personal accomplishment to that long list.
Yeah.
For her latest role, she's taken to the stage alongside her daughter, Bridgerton star Bessie Carter.
Imelda and Bessie join us right now. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Good morning.
Does it feel weird when I go through all those things?
Yes, it does a bit. Yes, it does a bit. Yeah. But...
how lovely is it that you get to be on the stage together?
It is.
It's pretty lovely.
It is. I was just saying that it's weird that it feels so normal. I thought it would feel strange, but it doesn't at all, and it's an absolute joy to be there together. And you know, and it's a challenging play, and that was very good for us to do. The rehearsals were hard, and we thought, oh, we can't do it. We'll never be able to do it. Oh, we'll never do it. But then doing it, you think, oh God, it's heaven.
The play's called Mrs. Warren's Profession. Yes. Bessie, explain a little bit about, because it's a fascinating story.
Well, written in 1893, already having the word profession following Mrs. Warren was sort of not allowed at the time. You know, a woman having a job was sort of really looked down upon. So it wasn't allowed to be performed for the first 25 years after it was written. So we're resurrecting one of his lesser-known plays, but it follows a mother and daughter who are somewhat estranged, who come together at a sort of definitive time after Vivi, my character, has graduated from Cambridge, and her future life is, you know, laying in front of her, and Mrs. Warren has some plans and Vivi has others. And throughout that confrontation, Mrs. Warren's profession, I suppose, is somewhat revealed. We won't reveal it now, not to spoil it, but yeah, so it's a bit of a head-to-head of arguments, ideas, and what's so brilliant is I don't think the play answers any of those questions. The play asks questions of the audience. And I think that's, whenever I go to the theatre, that's the kind of play I want to see. I don't want to be told what to think or feel. And his writing is so, you know, it's utterly, you know, it's human, it's visceral, it's emotional, as well as being political. And so it feels very engaging to do and hopefully to watch.
And you really do immerse the audience in, because there's no break, there's no let-up at all.
No. An hour and 45, folks, straight through.
Get your ice creams pre-show.
Yeah. But it's great because it just keeps sort of winding it tighter and tighter, and the director decided on that. I mean, it's 4 acts, but it's 1 hour 45 straight through, and the intensity just builds all the way through.
Yeah.
And I feel so proud that it's sort of been a difficult thing to do, and that it's in the West End, and the audiences, and God bless them, they're all coming, and having to sit and really listen, because these are long, complicated arguments that are very human, and it's all, you know, poverty and the rich and the poor and the money, and why do people have to do these jobs when, you know, all that.
Yeah.
So it's all extremely current. But written 130 years ago.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How relevant
really.
it
And also,
relevant.
he was a great champion for women, and Bernard Shaw, and talking about, you know, I even have a line, you know, it isn't right that there aren't better opportunities for women. That was written in 1837.
Wow. By an Irish man.
Wow.
He serves the English so well.
So ahead of his time.
Brilliant, yeah.
I'd imagine, though, Imelda, and we sort of, Kat mentioned this, there must be moments, and as parents ourselves, where you're on stage and then you're suddenly opposite your daughter who's playing, and I would get lost. Go, gosh, she's very good.
Blows you away.
Yes, yes. She's so good. And she's so tall, and she looks so good.
tall.
She's literally got it all.
So tall.
You've got it tall.
Got it tall.
No, it is. Yes, I mean, I was doing that in rehearsals as well, thinking, I can't believe, yeah. But then you have to then just get on with your job. But of course, you know, we talk to each other all the time about, actually, mainly about what's in our packed lunch, to be absolutely honest.
We're still talking about that.
Yes. But,
yeah, and are you going to nap now, then, between the shows? Or are you going to nap in the important things?
Yeah.
And the last time Jim was on, he talked about you guys doing, and he said how proud he was. But also, when I saw him going to the very first night, he was so... I mean, I can't imagine how proud he must be sitting in the audience.
I think he must be. I mean, he doesn't understand at all. You know, we sort of met up a few times to talk through our scenes before we started rehearsals, obviously, because it's quite dense. And the first time we were up there for probably about 3 hours, we came downstairs and he just went, what on earth could you find? What could you be talking about for that long? So I just don't think he leaves it to us, and he's very good at
very happy to do that. And as I said, he looked at us on stage, goes, there's my pension. So, yeah.
Keep going, girls.
Keep going.
We'll bring home the bacon, Dad, don't worry about it.
It must have been fabulous, though, Bessie, having... I mean, you've followed them into their profession, but having parents that have done this extraordinary job for so long, and imagine roles that you loved as a child. I mean...
Oh, look, there you are. Where are you there?
Oh, my goodness.
Oscars.
That was
Monsoon, that dress.
Was it?
Monsoon and Jigsaw, I think.
There you go. Very relatable high street.
Also, same colour as today.
How do you even remember that still?
It was
Because it was exciting.
Oh.
It was very exciting going and buying that dress.
How did you cope with parents that were sort of well known as a teenager growing up?
I mean, to be perfectly honest, sorry to speak about when you're right here, they're very normal people, my parents, which is very lovely. And so nothing really shifted or changed within our family. So it just was normal. I mean, when you're growing up, what you grow up around seems normal to you. So it seemed normal. They were working actors. There were periods where they were out of work, periods when they were in work. You know, so it felt like a very viable career that, you know, was great, but also had its ups and downs. And so it probably seems more sort of glitzy on the outside, but it's not. It just seemed very normal.
Did you ever worry when you said to them, Mum, Dad, I think I want to act?
Well, I don't think we even had that conversation.
You've not discussed what you're going to do as a profession yet?
No, I just think it's slowly morphed. You know, it's what I loved doing at school. I did all of the kind of stagecoach, NYT, all of the kind of things I could get my hands on, because it was just the thing I loved the most. So it just naturally snowballed into happening, I think.
I think seeing her play Henry VIII at 11... was actually
in the hit musical Henry the Jude
was a turning point.
Definitive.
Let's be honest.
Didn't you forget the tummy though, or something?
I forgot the tummy, and I had to use a jumper, and I was devastated. I mean, it was so unprofessional.
Was that when you realised she was destined for the stage, when she was upset about forgetting the tummy?
No, she was. I thought, oh no, you've got something. You're only 10 or 11, and you've got something, and I, you know, you don't really know what that is. But if you've got there's confidence. All you can give your child, I think, as a parent, is confidence to fail and to succeed, because they're both dodgy in equal measure. So just, you know, and she had the confidence, and so then I thought, well, it's up to you now.
Well, look, long may the success continue.
Yes, absolutely. Rave reviews, I've seen.
Fabulous to see you both. Thank you for popping in.
Thank you very much.
It's really, really lovely here. Mrs. Warren's Profession is on at the Garrick Theatre until the 16th.
Oh, hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
Now, 15 years ago, our next guest hit rock bottom and was struggling to find a way out. Today, she's a self-help superstar and the most listened-to woman in the world.
She has more than 21 million followers on social media, A-list fans like Oprah, the Kardashians. Mel Robbins is one of this century's most influential voices.
But how exactly has she managed to not only help herself, but give people all around the world the tools to change their own lives for the better? Well, it all comes down to two very simple words. Let them.
Let them. Just let them.
You're just going to say let them?
Let them. Let them. Let them.
When I say let them, I get a jolt of superiority. And this is why people get this tattooed on their bodies.
By far, just one of the best self-help books I've ever read.
This is what you can't control. This little guy right here, that's you.
I love what you said about being present.
It helps you feel the way that you want to feel.
I've spent my entire life being the fixer.
It is possible to be somebody that helps everybody else without losing who you are.
In life, there are always three things I can control: what you think, what you do or don't do, how you process your emotions. The more you let other people be themselves, the better your relationships become.
I hope you know just how meaningful you taking the time to be here. And I just want to say thank you so much. It's meant the world to me.
Wow, and the incredible Mel Robbins joins us now. Good morning, Mel.
Good morning. Mel. Lovely to meet you.
We were just talking before, and we were saying about where you came from and how you developed this idea and how you learnt the hard way.
Oh, my gosh. I don't know what it is about me, but I have to learn things the hard way. And all of the success that you see now, even watching that tape package, I'm like, who is that? And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's me. I think one of the reasons why I'm really connecting and resonating with people is this also happened later in life.
Yes.
So for those folks that don't know, when I was 41 years old, my husband's restaurant business started going under, and we, like complete morons, had secured the entire thing with our life savings, our house. And so we've got 3 kids under the age of 10. We find ourselves, in US dollars, it was $800,000 in debt. In pounds, it was $600,000 in debt. Liens hit the house. Like, we couldn't pay our bills. I had lost my job, and I found myself lying in bed every morning, unable to get out of bed, because I would just lay there and stare at the ceiling and think, I've completely ruined my life. And what happens in life is that I think there are people that are positively motivated, but if you're a normal human being, there comes a time where you get so sick of your own pain and excuses that pain makes you hit something solid inside yourself. And what happened for me is I just realized nobody's going to come and fix this situation. If I want things to get better, I have to figure out how to force myself out of this bed and start doing the little things every day that you know you need to do, but you don't feel like doing. And that's how all of this began. And it's been 16 years of simply putting one foot in front of the other and doing the next thing that I didn't feel like doing that has led to everything that you see now, whether it's the podcast or the books that I write or the impact that I make online with people.
Mel, what do you think the Mel that's lying 15 years ago in bed looking at the ceiling thinking, how are we going to get out of this, would make of the Mel that's sitting here now with all of this extraordinary...
I don't think that I could have ever even imagined something as extraordinary to happen. And here's the big message. I don't think you realize what you're capable of. And the mistake that you make is probably the same mistake I was making. You are waiting to feel ready. You are waiting to feel motivated. You're waiting to feel like you have it perfect. You're waiting for the right time. And I'm here to tell you, all of that waiting is what's ruining your life. Motivation is complete garbage. Complete and utter rubbish, as you would say, because it is never there when you need it. I mean, if motivation were easy, we'd all have $1 million and six-pack abs. We'd all be living our dream life. The secret to life, honest to goodness, is making yourself do the things you don't feel like doing. And it was during this time that I developed this little motivation hack that I call the 5-second rule. So in the States, I don't know if you have it here, but if you drop food on the floor and pick it up in 5 seconds, safe to eat.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Well, if you have an idea and you think about it for longer than 5 seconds, your mind contaminates your desire to do it.
Because you start talking yourself out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there's all these fancy words for this that psychologists have, but I just like to speak about it in a way that anybody can understand.
Sure.
So the hack that I had was I just was inspired by this rocket launch, and I started counting backwards. Every morning I'd be lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about all my problems, rotting away like a human pot roast. And then I would just start counting backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I would get out of bed. And I called this technique the 5-second rule. You got to move in 5 seconds or you will literally talk yourself out of it, as you said. And I use this little countdown thing, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, to push myself every day through the anxiety, the depression, the excuses. Because the truth is, one of the beautiful things about life today is you could go to ChatGPT, if that's what I always say it wrong because of dyslexia. You could put in, I want to know how to do X, Y, Z. Tell me what to do 15 minutes a day for 30 days. It'll spit out the best plan. It'll work. The problem will be you. Because then you're going to be like, oh, is that going to work for me? And it's always you against you. And so that's how things began 16 years ago. I just wanted to get out of bed. I just wanted to get the kids on the bus. I just wanted to start paying my bills. I just wanted to stop screaming at my husband. And I think we all know what we need to do, but we're waiting to feel ready to do it. And that's the trap.
But I think also, Mel, what you do so brilliantly is you make it so simple and so bite-sized. You don't kind of cloud it with more kind of sophisticated words, and you don't make it difficult.
Life is difficult enough.
It's like when you talk about your phone. I made the switch last night. I put an alarm clock by my bed instead of the phone, because the phone is a big thing.
Well, tell everybody what the thing is about.
So the phone, the minute the alarm goes off, you pick up the phone and then you start scrolling.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, you're horizontal, and instantaneously, there are thousands of people in your room with you, telling you, feeding you information, the world's problems are on your shoulders.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, you've wasted another 20 minutes and you're then anxious.
Of course. Well, yeah, because if you start your day and you're like this, right? And then you reach for your phone. You're not even vertical, and you've let the headlines and texts and emails from work get into your brain. This is one of the reasons why you're last on your list. This is one of the reasons why you wake up behind and exhausted. And so the simplicity is important, because if it's not simple, you won't be able to do it.
Yes.
That's
what you
the
do
power of
brilliantly.
this let them theory.
Yeah.
It's so simple, anybody can use it.
Can you explain, because it's a fascinating, when you hear you talk about it as well, can you explain what you mean by let them?
Sure. So the let them theory is a mindset tool that shows you, like that, what's in your control and what's not in your control. And it's so simple to use. Literally any moment you feel stressed out, worried, annoyed, frustrated, upset, hurt in life, you just say, let them. That's it. That's it. You don't even need to buy the book. That's it. And
I'm not sure your publishers are thinking that.
Here's the thing. I want people to use it.
Yeah.
That's why I care so much about this, because we live in a moment in time where there is so much out of your control, whether you're worried about AI, or you're worried about the headlines, or you're worried about somebody in your life, or you're worried about your job, or you're stressed out about your kids. There is a better way to go through life, because all that stuff out there, yes, it's real. Yes, it's important, but it doesn't and shouldn't impact you in here to the extent that it does. And when you learn, as Viktor Frankl in Man's Search for Meaning, how to see what's out there as beyond your control, but take control by managing your response to it, you gain control of your life. You will never be able to control the amount of traffic and construction in London. Let them. Let them. You can't control how long the queue is in line. Let them.
Yeah.
You can't control the challenging people in your family. In fact, the reason why we have families is because it teaches us how to love people we hate at times. You got to let people be who they are and who they're not. Because the one thing in life you can't control is another person. What they think, what they do, what they believe, how they act. When they heal, if they ever heal, if they let them be who they are. Because that's not where your power is. And that's why you're so stressed out, because you're managing everybody else. Let them be who they are. Let them say what they say. Let them think what they think. Now, let's take our power back. Let me is part 2. Let me remind myself there's 3 things in life I can control. I control what I think about this. I control what I do and don't do. I control how I respond to my feelings. And what this taught me is for the first 54 years of my life, I was living it in reverse. I was giving all my time and energy to managing everybody else. I put more weight into other people's opinions. I was navigating my day at work based on my boss's mood. There's an easier way. Let them. Stop managing everybody else and take the power back. And what you'll recognize is you have no idea how often you allow the world to stress you out. And that's why you're tired. That's why you have no energy. When you protect your time and energy from all this meaningless stuff and from things you can't control, you get your time and energy back. It's crazy simple.
It is simple, and hearing you say it is really compelling and very simple.
Brilliant.
Thrilled that you're sticking around because you're going to be taking some phone calls from our viewers, aren't you?
Oh, great.
To offer them some
Great.
help as well, because I think that's going to be really pertinent.
Yeah, for sure. Mel's new book, The Let Them Theory, is out now. Thank you, Mel.
as I was
Look
saying,
forward to that. Thank you for
sticking
visiting
around.
our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning. He's come face to face with some terrifying creepy crawlies and braved even the most brutal of bush tucker trials.
But all of that paled in insignificance to the mammoth mission that our Sam put himself through last week, travelling 260 miles from London to Old Trafford to deliver this year's Soccer Aid match ball in time for kickoff.
He had to dig deep to push through what was the toughest challenge of his life, but push through he did, and we honestly couldn't be prouder of him. Here's a reminder of Sam's incredible achievement.
Let's go, Sam!
Guess who's joining you on your next peg?
No, you're not.
No, I'm actually not.
Oh! Oh! Look what you've done, Sam!
I was absolutely fine for the first, 35, and then my calf popped.
God, the rain's just coming in now. It's not quite the sunshine you had yesterday. I just want to tell you how much...
Oh, my God!
You are remarkable. You have raised 900...
I'm really struggling today, man.
I've got nothing left. £1,560,433 and 22 pence so far. Yes.
Oh, the conquering hero!
Well done, mate. Look, I'm throwing my glass. I'm so excited.
It's making me... I've got to stop crying. It makes me so
You need to
emotional.
rehydrate just because of so much tears.
So many tears, man. I just want to say, actually, from the start, mate, thank you so much for all your support. It was every time I saw you and I heard you, it was literally just... It was like... It made me so emotional, so I really, really, really appreciate it. Ben, obviously, on day one, mate, you turning up, I just tore my calf at that point, and I was so down. Because I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do this. I know that I've got so far ahead of me. And you have the strongest mentality. And Ben turns up and he's literally like, mate, one foot in front of the other. You're not completing this. And like, he just like, I needed someone who's not gonna mollycoddle me. And you were just the perfect guy for that. It was just, I'm so grateful.
So it was a really, I could tell how low you were because all the planning, all the expectation, all the hope, and you'd had this injury. Day one, it just came out of nowhere that was significantly worse, as we found out through the week, than we thought initially, even then.
Yeah.
There was still a hope that actually it was maybe just a strain, but it's a proper tear. And it's just about breaking it down, isn't it, into small chunks. Don't think of it as a big journey.
It's the line, not the time.
Yeah.
That's what Ben kept
He
on
remembers,
saying.
he remembers.
But when you sort of talked about it, Sam, you trained for it, how had the reality of it, how does it compare, do you think?
It doesn't compare at all. It feels like a dream and a slight nightmare. But yeah, it's all the training, you don't really know what you're training for almost, because I'm just doing some running and some biking and we'll just see what happens. It's nothing like it. You've got the team surrounding you. We filmed a doc, by the way, which is coming out actually this Friday.
It'll be on a Friday.
And like, so you've got a van in front of you the entire time with a camera sticking out the boot of the van, all filming all your highs and lows. You've got, people all around you, people beeping their horns at you. You can't really prepare for anything like that. And
It's quite overwhelming, isn't it?
It's really overwhelming, but in the most beautiful way. It brings so many people together, and I actually was just saying to Ben off air that you feel a bit flat afterwards almost, because you're like, you miss the entire team and you miss that bubble almost.
The connection.
Yeah, there's so much connection.
And I think that's the thing, it just moves people. Every time someone new turned up, from Ben to your brother-in-law to like Pete, when you guys got together, and then we had Orlando in the studio. he sent you that message, and then we had to call him makeup, didn't we, to dry all his tears, because he was like, he's such a good man, he's such a... I mean, to have that level of support must have been amazing.
This sounds so cringy, but I really do mean this. I think it shows the power of friendship.
Yeah.
Because, I honestly, wholeheartedly believe in this, that I'm quite like a glass person. Like, I'm actually not the strongest person, as we've seen. But I'm the luckiest person to have the support network around me. I didn't complete this. Everyone around me completed it for me. Like, everybody, like, showing up, from my family to my friends and stuff, was the only thing that got me through it, and I'm really, really fortunate.
There was an amazing team on the road with you as well.
Yeah.
They were there all the step away. Like, few of us drafted in and out, but there was an amazing team, wasn't there?
It was so great, man. Gary, the physio, was such a good
kept
guy.
you together. You got Taylor, the running coach. Tracy was on the bike with you.
Tracy is the most just empathetic but strong-willed person I think I've ever met. And then the UNICEF team as well, like, remembering why you're doing it, and, like, always reminding myself, like, who is out there and who we're trying to help, and the donations.
Mate, one of the things that we loved were all the surprises that you kept getting. So we've got a little surprise for you today.
Oh, God, no more surprises.
Because she's come in to see you, especially to celebrate.
Yes!
You did it on you.
No, you're going to cry again.
I'm so sorry.
Tracy, have a sit down, have a sit down. This is Tracy, who was every pedal step alongside Sam on the route. What was it like for you?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, what a guy to do a challenge with, you know? I mean, he just literally gave his all from start, oh, bless him, from start to finish. I mean, you couldn't ask for more from you.
No, Trace is a machine.
Yeah.
Do you know, there was a moment on Thursday where I didn't speak to Tracy for over an hour because I had gone really, really dark. And Trace just turns to me and goes, whatever you're channeling right now, keep doing it. I'm not going to speak to you for an hour. And we just put our head down we cycled together.
In silence.
In silence for over an hour, and I just burst into tears at the end of it and hugged Tracy, and it was just such a magical experience.
It really was, wasn't it? And it was so emotional because, like, every time that sort of like there was quiet, I thought, should I be worried because he's quiet? Obviously, sort of like, you know, concentration on the main road, and you just literally, I thought, no, he's got this.
You've got to chew the miles sometimes.
Yeah,
You've got to get them under your belt. But that second day, though, Tracy, have you ever cycled in rain like that?
Oh, my God, it was apocalyptic. Like, literally, I mean, you could not see. We were trying to talk. My lips were numb. You just stood there, and I thought, oh, my God, could we actually get any worse? And it was awful. I mean, we had to stop because it's too dangerous.
It was too dangerous. That's the point. Even the weather was conspiring against you. Despite all of those things, you did it. Thank you, Tracy, for being there with him, lockstep, and keeping him going.
Yeah,
Thank you to all the team, as you say, to Gary, the physio, who somehow put you back together every day, Taylor, who was running with you.
Yeah.
It's just, we're so proud of you, Sam.
Thank you so much for everyone who donated as well. I mean, my God, every single time we got those donations sort of run through, it was just
another boost up, wasn't it?
It was such a boost,
and
it was just so beautiful. So thank you, anybody who donated. You literally are the heroes to the story.
And you can still keep donating.
Yes, you can.
Now. Donating to Sam's matchball mission is simple.
Yeah, to give 20, 30 or £10, just text 30, 20 or 10 to 70822. Text costs you a donation plus one standard rate message.
You must be 16 or over, and please ask the bill payer's permission.
You can donate online. The websites are shown on screen. 100% of your donation will go to UNICEF. Every donation, we doubled up to £5 million thanks to the Children's Investment Fund Foundation, which is amazing.
Soccer Aid for UNICEF 2025 airs live Sunday, the 15th of June, 6 p.m. on ITV1 and ITVX.
And you can see Sam's documentary, Sam Thompson's Matchball Mission, on Friday at 9 o'clock, ITV1 and ITVX.
Yes,
I had to tell him about it. I had to tell him about it. Good, so proud of you, mate. Well done.
I'm so grateful.
Hero.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Tracy, for all your...
Thank you.
Oh, hello. Thanks for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
Not many people can say they've been the Prime Minister 3 times, but our next guest has done just that.
In addition to his Tony Blair hat-trick, he's also played villainous vampires and David Tennant's long-suffering best friend.
But now Michael Sheen is taking a break from Hollywood to introduce young readers to this, Spark the Dragon, in his very special children's book.
Morning,
Good morning, Michael.
Oh, good morning.
This
is nice.
Come on, let's move over and get closer.
Where did the idea come from, Michael?
Where did I get the idea from? Well,
I've been interested in the themes of the book for a long time, around homelessness, looking for a home, what a home means. And I was asked whether I'd be interested in doing something like this for young readers. And so myself and Jess Webb got together and we worked out the story about Spark, this little dragon who loses his home in a storm and then has to go on a journey to find a home, and people help him, and eventually he finds somewhere that he can call home. So it's something that I can read to my kids as well, lovely. Which is amazing.
You know what's so lovely about this? Because I could remember going out with my son and seeing homeless people and him always asking, why are they outside, why are they... And being struggling to like come up with a reason as to why that was happening. So this book for kids, it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this gives a sort of a context for people to have those conversations for really young readers. When when you're out in the world and you see things going on and you're curious, asking questions, and as a parent, it's hard to talk about something that complex. And hopefully this gives a sort of a frame of reference to start having those conversations.
Where did that first come to you, Michael, when you first became... I mean, obviously, we're aware of it all our lives. Like, you on the Saturday... I remember Saturday in Colchester with my dad, and there'd always be a couple of guys, and once again, that awful conversation you have with your kids, what now I remember with my son. But when did you first become aware of it, and it really kind of chimed with you?
I think I remember being... I was doing a play in London at the Almeida, and there's a long road up a street in Islington. So I used to come out the tube and walk that long road all the way to the theatre. And I remember each day I would see people in the shop doorways, And this is quite late on in life, I suppose. I was, in my 20s. It got to the point where it was taking me longer and longer to get to work because I would stop and have a chat with people, and sort of feel like, well, I realised quite quickly that I think we have basic human needs to stay alive. We need to eat, we need to drink water, but we need connection as well, and to feel seen and to feel acknowledged that you're still alive no matter what your circumstances are. And that kind of was a big change for me, seeing that, and so being able to do this, and it's published in association with Shelter. So £1 from every hardback that gets sold and 50p from every paperback goes to Shelter, Shelter Scotland and Shelter Cymru as well, and to help them in what they're doing. But I think the big thing, of course, is not only does it allow young readers to talk about what they might be seeing, but of course a lot of people will experience it themselves as well. Absolutely. Young people will be in... It's not just about being on the streets, it's about being in temporary accommodation as well,
And
so
many
hopefully
of it
tells that story.
So many of it is kind of sliding doors choices, isn't it? I was talking to a guy a couple of weeks ago, and he said he moved over to Ireland, broke up with his girlfriend, came back over here, and then before you know it, the money goes like that, and you just make a couple of... no addiction issues, you just make a couple of choices, and next thing you know, it's out on the street. And he said it's so hard to get back.
And it can be anybody, really. It can be anybody.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people I've spoken to all the time, maybe a parent has died. And it has such a big emotional impact on you. Things can spiral so quickly. I think we all need help at some point. It's not just about other people or these other people who need help. We all need help at points. And that's sort of, I was listening to your conversation earlier about people in power. The most important thing is we're all vulnerable, we're all going through this life, and we're all going to need help at times. And that's why community is so important, isn't it?
It's a beautiful book, and it's illustrated by Sarah Massini, who's incredible.
Gorgeous,
absolutely beautiful. Congratulations on this book.
Thank you very much.
Did you enjoy writing it?
I did. I loved it, and I really hope that it can be the first of a series of things where we can talk about quite difficult subjects, but in a really entertaining way for young children. I hope so.
We talk about community. You wrote off £1 million in debt for 900 people in Wales recently. Tell us about how that came about and what's the process like?
Well, that's something that I've been sort of working on for a long time. I remember many, many years ago, I saw John Oliver in America doing his show in America, and he did a similar thing where he bought a load of debt and then wrote it off. And that sort of put the idea in my mind. And various people have done very similar things over the years, amazing stuff. So when I got the opportunity to do it, I realised I had never heard about the secondary debt market. Essentially, companies buy up debt, and then you can buy it cheaper and cheaper. The people who owe the debt still owe the same amount, but the people who are buying it can get it at a lower and lower price. So I realised that I could buy, for £100,000 of my own money, I could buy £1 million of debt. And, of course, I'm not looking to get it back. I just wiped it out.
So the company would be looking to get that back over a longer period of time? I see.
But you affected over 900 people. You affected, you got rid of their debt.
Yeah.
How did that feel as a human to do that to someone?
Well, it was strange because I don't know who they are. Because I was never allowed to find out who the people were, yeah.
And do they know who did it?
Well, we sent a letter. So the moment that you buy someone's debt, you have to legally let them know that you have bought their debt. So we sent them a letter with a link in it, and I made a video so that if they pressed the link, they would see me going, "Hi, I'm Michael Sheen, I bought your debt and it's gone now." But of course...
People think it's a scam.
People think it's a scam. Of course they do.
Yeah.
It was a stupid idea of mine to do that.
So did no one click it?
I don't know. I mean, listen, if you're out there, good luck to you. I hope it's made a difference.
We have to talk a little bit about Soccer Aid. You're one of the great Soccer Aid heroes. I remember Michael came out, literally, he played for about half an hour and he came hobbling off, and his toe especially, his toe is like falling off. But it's coming up like week.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the most unforgettable experiences of my life. I think it was 8 years I was captain of the rest of the world team, playing at Old Trafford. Yeah. I mean, it's just extraordinary. But in the end, I was getting injured in the warm-up. I wasn't even getting on the pitch.
Oh, look at you. But at least you were there.
I was there.
You were there.
I was there.
And we've got to talk about these iconic characters who you have played. There's some incredible ones, but I'm interested to know which character stayed with you the longest after the camera stopped rolling?
That's a good question. I played Kenneth Williams, from the Carry On film.
Yeah.
And it was a very concentrated film. We did it in like 15 days or something, but I did so much research. And when it got to the end, you're such a larger-than-life character. And when it got to the end and they say cut and that's it, I sort of felt like, well, what do I do with this now? I've spent the last, doing all this. And but I knew so much about him. I was like, I should go on Mastermind or something. And like, what do you do now? So it's quite hard to let go. I had to be him for a little bit every day for a while, just to decompress.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. And Brian Clough, who combined my love of acting and football to be able to bring those together on the Damned United. That was amazing.
You are incredible.
Well, what's next? And Aaron Bevan. I mean,
yeah. Well, last year,
this is my truth. Tell me yours. Eh?
Last year we did the play Nye. New play about an Aaron Bevan creation in the NHS, and we did it at the National and in Cardiff, and it was so popular. We're back doing it again this year. Right. So that's to be able to tell that story, to say those words, is such a privilege. To be again talking about people in power. I mean, he was a man who was down the mines as a kid, saw the injustice around him, and thought, I need power to change this, to make this better. Ends up becoming the Minister for Health and Housing after the war, and changing all our lives, creating the NHS. I mean, extraordinary use of power.
When you do a play and then you rest for a while and you come back, is it muscle memory? Can you remember everything quite easily?
Well, I'm hoping so. I go into rehearsals on Monday, I hope so.
You're going to be brilliant, Michael. It's an absolute pleasure. And your book, Michael's book, A Home for Spark the Dragon, is out now. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.
He sold 25 million albums as part of the iconic 80s band Spandau Ballet. He went on to play one of the most legendary villains Soapland has ever seen in EastEnders as the evil Steve Owen.
But now Martin Kemp has established himself as a best-selling author, and as he releases the second book in his thriller series, Martin is here to tell us more this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. 25 million albums? Did I sell that many?
You did.
Did I?
Really, personally.
What happened to it then?
You really did.
Ask your brother.
Yeah.
The book is great. I mean, it just takes you back to that time and that era, right from the very moment where you're talking about the Blitz and going there and Boy George being in the cloakroom. How much of you is in this book?
Everything. Everything of me. I always think when I write fiction, I think you find out more about me than you do when I write a biography. Because you give more secrets about yourself away that you wouldn't tell otherwise. Because, in fiction, you can put it behind somebody else's skin. And it's kind of hidden in the mix.
So Johnny Klein is the lead character. If anybody has not read the first book, just explain a little bit about Johnny Klein, who he is and where he's been and what his life's...
Johnny Klein, ex-rock star from the 80s, who was at the top of his game, world famous, and it all came crashing down. And I take him back to the bit where we strip everything away. He hasn't got a penny left, doesn't own anything, and he has to get by in life. And it was always kind of a fear that I had, when I was growing up in the band. What happens? Because what happens if you lose everything and all you're left with is a famous face that everybody knows you? Where'd you go? How'd you start again?
Because you signed the record deal when you were on your 18th birthday?
My 18th birthday, yeah.
And then how many days later were you sort of in the charts?
Well, about 5 or 6 weeks later, we were number 5 in the charts and selling 500,000 copies. And flying around Europe on Learjets. I do not know how it happened, but it happened. And it was an incredible way to live when I was a kid, you know, but it was my fear. What happens if it all gets stripped away?
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to write about.
Yeah, and that's one of the things in the books. He lives in like a bedsit above a curry house.
Yeah, in Brick Lane.
Yeah, and there's elements as well where he's got a relationship with his daughter that's incredibly moving too.
Yeah, I mean, most of that comes from my story, you know. And one of the fears that I always had was... nowadays, you see lots of celebrities hiding their kids' faces, you know, keep them out of view.
Yeah.
But back in the day, we never used to do that. You know, as soon as you had a kid, you were on the front page of a Hello magazine and telling the world about them. So, and it was always my fear, what if you have this crazed fan who wants to kidnap your kid? And that was my fear. And so I put that into the book. And
some dad jokes are in there.
Oh, yeah.
Few dad jokes, few
Well, he is a
corkers.
dad. He is a dad. You know, I grew up watching... for me, Johnny Klein is always kind of like the cheap version of James Bond.
Right.
You know, the real-life James Bond. And without any gadgets and without any money.
Yeah.
And I grew up with James Bond from the 70s, which was all about one-liner jokes, most of which you could never say nowadays.
Yeah, of course, of course. And the story of this one, is this one adapted from an original screenplay that you did, or have you thought, in the back of your mind, you thinking it could be a screenplay?
Well, it was not so much this one, the second one. The first one that I did, first Johnny Klein book I did, was originally a screenplay that I did.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, it didn't go very far, but I wanted to turn it into a novel. And I always thought it would be a better novel than it would be a screenplay. But now we've got the second one here, you know, who knows? Who knows what will happen?
So as you're lounging, lying back in the bath, do you like bubbles or are you more of a bath salts man?
Yeah, I'm definitely bubbles.
Bubbles. OK, so as you're lying there in the bath,
Yeah.
you're coming up with all these storylines.
Should we explain why you're asking about his bath? routine?
I'm just interested in it
Let me
anyway.
explain. Is that I always have this thing where to come up with ideas for the book of what I'm going to write about the next day, it will always be while I'm in the bath. You know, because I find that when I'm in the bath, I took the television away from the bathroom, which is no good for you at all, and I find that all my ideas, my artistic ideas, come out of me when I'm in the bath. And so look, I get straight out, talk to my iPhone, put it in there, and I write about it the next day.
You see, I wasn't just...
Did you have a telly in the bathroom?
Well, I did do at one point.
Did you?
Yeah.
That is very, by the way, that feels very rock and roll.
It's a rock star.
It's a very rock and roll thing.
I'd come out so wrinkly, though, by the end of it.
I'd never get out. I would never get out.
No, I took it away because it stops you daydreaming.
And that's what you need to be creative.
Yeah, yeah.
You're very open about everything. That's what I love about it. It's when we listen to you and Roman on the podcast, it's really great fun on watching your Gogglebooks. But you recently appeared on Loose Men, and you were open about something else, which has become a bit of viral sensation, Martin. Let's just remind everybody what you said.
I don't think you can schedule sex. If I had to look in my diary and it says 7:30 on a Thursday night, I'm going to do it. I don't think it works. I even feel like under pressure if it's a Sunday morning. You know? so everyone in here does it on a Sunday morning. I know.
I love it.
How did Shirley feel about this? And how did the kids feel about this?
Well, you cut out the bit where I look down the lens and I say, Shirley, get yourself ready, I'm coming home. but listen, my family have grown up with each other, taking the mickey out of each other. Yeah. You know, we are a really open family. We talk about everything. Sex is not a thing that is taboo. It never has been. You know, I grew up in a house where my mum and dad, if we were sitting around watching television and two people started kissing, everyone would make out they were asleep.
Or cough, or read the paper.
Yeah. So, and that was the last thing I wanted.
So you never wanted that.
I'm really happy that we can all joke about it.
I think that's really smart. And actually, the relationship that you and Roman have together, whether you're doing the podcast or Gogglebox, or you two could sit in a room and talk about anything.
You do give him endless ammunition, though, to tear another strip off, you don't mind.
I do, and I love doing that as well, you know. It's a great, you know, doing Gogglebox is such a great thing because it's how I get to see him. You know, I wouldn't see him otherwise.
So you film it at your house?
Yeah, I've got a little cottage.
Yeah.
Down at the end of the garden.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we go down there and we film it. But it's basically to get him home so that he can see Shirley, see his mum.
Love it.
See me, and, you know, we have a chat.
Well, we love it. We love you letting us in because the Gogglebox is coming back, isn't it? So it'll be fantastic.
Yeah.
And this is great.
Oh,
Second one
thank
is
you very
great.
much.
You can start seeing it being turned into a drama as well.
Oh, great. Well, listen, when I write it, it's me in my 40s. So it's not me now. So I would love to see it turned into TV, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for chatting.
Great to see you,
Martin.
Martin.
Thank
Great
you.
to see you
Martin's
as
with the
always.
Fall is
Thank
out
you for
right
visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.
Amazing.
It's so
Deep
good.
cover stars on
Stop talking
Blue.
about it, right?
That's
The
right, so great.
reminiscing.
Bryce Dallas Howard and Nick Mohammed all join us now. Good morning, guys.
Morning,
Lovely to see you all.
morning.
We've been lucky enough to see an early copy of the
Oh,
film.
it's fun.
Loved it.
It's really
so much fun, Orlando. There's something really compelling about what these three sort of strange little sort of team of characters come together in a remarkably fun and interesting story.
Yeah, the script was just so well executed. You know, it's tight, it's fast, it's fun. And I think it's what everyone needs at the moment, a good laugh, you know?
Yeah.
We had the pleasure of watching it at the Barbican with a giant audience, maybe 1,500, and it was just, I was just looking at my mates down the line and they were just rolling with laughter. So it's definitely one to get the family together or friends and do a pizza night. Pizza night.
Yeah.
Lovely. Lovely.
But yeah, it's a fun one.
Yeah. Bryce, tell us a little bit about the premise of it all without giving too much away, obviously.
Yeah. Well, everyone just saw the trailer. It's about improv comedians who get recruited to go undercover by the Met Police in London. And it is really fun because basically the central tenet of improv is yes and.
And there's a clap and you go into the scene and you give it your all.
Exactly. And what happens is that, you know, they're very committed and they say yes and that means they get into more and more and more and more trouble.
It gets deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
Particularly, I think, Nick, because your character, who isn't the most confident, actually hasn't done as much, sort of kind of keeps getting them deeper and deeper because he doesn't really know what else to say other than yes and.
Yeah, he's not, I mean, he hasn't come from an acting background, an improv background or comedy. He just has a quite regular office job and he's sort of stumbled into, well, the Comedy Store, I guess, and started trying to do these improv classes and little does he know that he's going to get, you know, thrown into sort of these undercover missions. And so, yeah, he is really out of his depth right from the start and it just gets worse and worse for him.
But once you're in, though, you kind of revel in it a little bit, too.
Well, that's the thing. He sort of finds his people, you know, they sort of find each other as friends as well. So they, you know, there's this sort of sense of camaraderie and that they have some kind of mission to accomplish. And, yeah, they do end up sort of taking it very seriously.
Which is actually what's so nice about it. You don't very often see this dynamic in movies. It's like actually interesting. What about your character? Because you've kind of based him a little bit, Orlando, on someone that we know as well, right?
Yeah. Well, I grew up, you know, when I read in the script that Roach was a Northerner, I was like, who's the iconic Northerner that I know? Growing up, I went to Nebworth and seeing Liam and the boys of an Oasis, you know, the whole band. But Liam he's just got that swag, hasn't he? And I thought, if I can get even close to that, I'd have a lot of fun trying, you know. And it was just, so it sort of lent itself. And I kind of imagined that Marlon was sort of this desperate out-of-work actor. Maybe he worked at like a costume house, like Angels or something, you know. So he'd get really into the costume and what he was wearing and how, you know, the Liam look and everything. So we kind of, it was a really great way into the character and I had a lot of fun doing it.
There tends to be, from the outside, if you've not come from that world, there tends to be a bit of stigma attached to improv. right? It's like everybody talks about, oh, you're going to go and be actory in improv, but there's such skill to good improv, isn't there? Is it stuff that you've all done? Have you done it, Bryce?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, like, whenever anyone asks me if they're an emerging actor and they're like, what's your advice? I'm always like, take improv, because it really shows you that when you're in a scene with someone, as long as you're listening, as long as you're present, as long as you're saying yes and, you're safe. Nothing bad can happen. It's all playful. And so I think it's a wonderful way. It's sort of like an ethos for life.
Yeah.
You know, to be that way, to roll with it. And you know, what I love as well about this, and you were saying, Kat, like the dynamic of these characters. We all play characters who are kind of, for lack of a better way of describing it, you know, they've failed in their lives. They're in their 40s and their hopes and dreams have not worked out at all. And they come together, and through this you friendship, which is very rare. It's rare to make new friends when you're middle-aged. And through that, they all kind of, their superpowers come out. And they end up being, you know, quite an impressive trio.
They are. And Nick, because of course you're as you're a comedian, you've got characters, Mr. Swallow, one of my favourites, and you do stand-up. So your background is much more sort of, has to be much more agile, because if you're on stage and people start heckling you, you have to be able to react to that sort of stuff.
A little bit, but because I am often in character and rarely do sort of straight stand-up as me, then it's actually quite written and well, touch wood, I don't get heckled too much. Not too much, because I think people know I'm in character. Yeah, maybe. And so I think people kind of, it's a bit maybe more theatrical than that, in that the way that you wouldn't probably heckle a play, and even though it appears like stand-up, because it's sort of character stand-up, it feels quite different. But yeah, there has been times when I've had to kind of think on my feet a little bit, but I don't think I'm very good at it, frankly.
That's not true.
Well, no,
he was, you know, this is his comfort zone, like comedy, improv.
Yes, we're all looking to him.
Well, I would like trying to sort of throw them under the bus and try and make them big.
Do you do it on purpose?
That's a different thing. Oh, yeah. I mean,
oh, my goodness.
See, when we were talking about the relationship of the characters, that's one thing. But to see you all on the couch like this, ribbing each other as well, and like, have you formed like a relationship that's going to go on for life, and like you've met each other's families? Have you done all that? Have the families been down to see you?
Yeah,
we had families coming to set and everything, so yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Bryce, I will say, sits on the side of the set while most people are like scrolling. I like to mention this. She lays out the most beautiful display of watercolours, paints, and boxes and brushes.
Really?
And that's what she does. And my daughter came to set, and Bryce taught her to paint, and it was so nice. She still does watercolours today. And, like, literally just, like, I was like, oh, we all need a mother like Bryce.
Daisy taught me to paint. I mean, Daisy is absolutely incredible.
I still have my rap gift.
Such a joy. It was such a joy getting to hang out.
I like how you talk like that as well. You know, you're talking about the watercolours.
We should also say Bryce's care for this sort of safety and the health of the crew and the cast is outrageous. Like, we were doing quite intense night shoots, and Bryce was there sort of gravelling pathways that were like a little bit slippy, which they weren't. They were absolutely because I know safety first. And Bryce is out there, you know, like looking out for
Is she setting the standard too high for the rest of you? Is that
it's a little bit like set etiquette 101, you know what I mean? Like,
just a nervous
this is how
Nelly.
it goes. No, it's amazing.
Excellent.
I mean, it's one of the things that you talked about, that you mentioned this, Orlando, when we sat down, that the film I mean, it's not going to be in cinemas, is it? And it feels like such a community sort of thing when you're sitting watching a comedy.
Yeah, like a communal thing.
You want to be with other people to feel it and experience that.
It's contagious, isn't it? Laughter is contagious. And you definitely, that was the feeling in the movie when we watched it in the cinema the other night. And it was just like, so I think you were encouraging people to get together to watch it, because it is... It's what we need right now. Everyone wants a good laugh. We need a bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
And the
You brandishing a chainsaw. That's what everybody needs right now. I need literally like it's Liam Gallagher meets Robert De Niro as well.
When they go on tour this summer, he's going to come out. He's
going to come out from Pirates of the Caribbean as you. God, Can you imagine? Are there going to be any more pirates?
Oh, it's all in the works.
They're threatening all kinds of things. Who knows?
What are they saying?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's there's been.
I haven't had the courage to ask.
I know,
Lean in, Bryce.
I don't know. I think there's. I can't say anything at the moment because I don't know. But like there's definitely.
Have they checked availability?
No, it's not that. They're sort of like, I think they're trying to work out what it would all look like. I personally think it'd be great to get the band back together. You know what I mean? Like that would be great. But there are always different ideas and so we'll see where it lands.
How many years ago was the first?
Oh, don't ask me that. I think, 2002?
Yeah, this is the
Good knowledge.
Yeah,
Good knowledge, Squire.
Isn't it time?
It is time.
Yeah.
It's time to get the band back together.
And
Can we be in it?
With a couple of new band members.
Yes. That would be great, wouldn't it? That would be awesome. That would be awesome. To tie it all in. By the way, yeah.
What, can we just ask about Ted Lasso as well, please?
Oh, yes.
Because obviously, as a West Ham fan, I was thrilled that Nate went over to be the West Ham. I didn't like the fact that they painted you as the baddie as a West Ham manager. That didn't suit me very well. What can we expect from the new series?
Well, I only really know what's out in the press, that it's going to start filming, I think, in the autumn, maybe. It's about the women's football team, but still very much set in AFC Richmond. Look, whether Nate's in it, who knows? We'll have to see.
So you're not sure? What, come on.
I'm not sure, genuinely not sure.
Wow.
Can't have Ted Lasso without Nate.
Well, that's very kind of you to say.
I agree.
Thank you.
I'm giving you anything.
Yeah.
And you're going to be doing some more Star Wars too, Bryce? Directing?
So maybe it's at some.
Very busy. Everybody's very busy.
I tell you what you are going to be doing. You're going to be enjoying some Chelsea buns because
Chelsea buns
Nick
are
was very
heading in your
excited.
direction. Here we go.
Yes,
the
please.
Mr. Hollywood has brought you each over.
You've got to have them with a cup of tea.
Oh my God, what is
There you go, enjoy.
Chelsea?
Enjoy.
Though, we know that.
You're gluten.
so sad.
I think you're gluten-free, Bryce.
I'm a gluten-free person, but I'm feasting
Nick's
with my
got it.
eyes.
I am too, but not today.
How's the Hollywood drizzle?
The drizzle. She's a drizzle master.
The orange.
Yeah, lifts it up.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, guys. Thank you
Lovely
so
to
much.
see you all. Thank you all so much for coming in. I feel guilty
That
we
was
haven't got a
ace.
gluten
Don't
for you.
worry. Don't worry.
Can I very quickly just say that I'm doing this gig for Blood Cancer UK?
You can.
Is that all right? It's at the Bloomsbury Theatre on the 21st of June, and it's a mixed bill lineup. I'm doing it as Mr. Swallow, but we've also got James Acaster, Celia A.B., Beck Hill, and Sam Campbell. People know a lot of them from Taskmaster and so on.
Sure.
But it's all for Blood Cancer UK, and we'd love to sell it out. So
Great.
you can
Amazing.
get to the
What date was
On the
it?
21st?
21st of June at the Bloomsbury Theatre.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Thank you for that.
Thank you all for coming in. Enjoy that, Orlando. Deep Cover is out on Prime Video on the 12th of June, but definitely get the family and all your friends together.
Yeah,
It's everyone to watch in the group. It's great fun.
Thank you.
Is
Thank
that
you.
good, Orlando?
The orange is like chewy. It's delicious.
We'll get you a proper cup of tea.
Rub it in.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.